Hey, welcome back to the Schmidt Show. We're here, episode number 5. Glad you guys are here with me. I appreciate it. We have some viewers, and I'm thankful for that. And today we're going to talk about rock bottom and a little bit about my journey and what happened to me as far as my entrepreneurship and starting my own business and becoming successful, and some of the feelings and stuff that I went through. It wasn't easy, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And not all of us have to be or have to get to where I got to. So, yeah, like some of the stuff we're going to talk about is some of the despair and doubt and the feelings of being lost, facing challenges and setbacks that just seemed insurmountable. Struggling with financial difficulties and emotional turmoil. It's so difficult when finances are there's nothing, and that just adds to the pile, and that's a tough one. Questioning if things would ever improve. I remember saying that, or if success was even obtainable after losing everything. Reaching a breaking point where change became necessary for survival, and that's where I was. Now, I hope that nobody gets there, but I mean, let's be realistic. That's what happens in life. And to be honest with you, a lot of great entrepreneurs, they lost just about everything, and they have tried over and over again. And that's the key, I think, is to, when you get knocked down, get back up. I think if you ask just about any other entrepreneur or businessman or whatever, who are in business, if you ask them how many times have you failed or how'd you make it, they'll tell you that there was multiple failures before there was a success. I know there was for me, but I kept trying. But I did reach that breaking point. It was tough because for me, I had lost everything. And losing everything for me was, it actually made it easier for me to start my own business because I lost my job, I lost family. Didn't lose family, but everybody just kind of went to the outsides a little bit, out of the circle. I was, some addictions that were there that caused me to lose everything. And that's never an easy topic. And for me, it was, I had to hit that rock. And I mean rock bottom, where I didn't even have $10. I think I might have had $10. I remember that clearly because I had borrowed a vehicle and I wanted to go see my kids, and I had $10 to go see them, to put gas in it. Like that's pretty low, but you can go, there's always lower, right? So we got to remember that. And then you got to make a decision to take control and turn life around despite the odds. So we're going to go through all that, and buckle up and let's go for a ride. Okay, so I'm going to briefly kind of go over kind of what happened to me, and we won't focus too much on that, but we need to go back in time to figure out how I got to where I am now. Early on, years ago, roughly 10 years or so, I got into some addiction stuff, and then it took me down pretty fast, and down to where I had nothing left, like I just explained, and I had to go seek some help to get better. And I'm one of those guys that doesn't like asking for help. It's a hard word for me. They say it's like the life's dirtiest 4-letter word. I don't know if that's true, but for most it is. Anyway, talking about this kind of stuff it's tough. It's never easy looking back. It brings up feelings, but I think it's important, especially sharing it with other people. I know earlier on when I did go through that stuff, all the turmoil and whatnot, and when I opened up to other people and told them what was going on in my life, and then the addiction, I don't think was even really the issue. It was more about what was going on inside and what I couldn't deal with. I think that's usually what it is. And so that's how I found, for me to help myself, I had to get somebody else to help me. And that was the biggest relief for me, was actually telling people that, hey, look, this is what's happened, and to be honest with them and saying, this is what I'm going through, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I've lost just about everything I've had. And honestly, that's when you're going to see some real friends come out. When you lose everything and you have nothing left, they call them fair weather friends. Your friends, your fair weather friends, are only there when the weather's good. And I never even knew what that word actually kind of meant until somebody explained that to me. I'm like, wow, does that make sense? And that's true. So when I did hit rock bottom, that's exactly what happened. A lot of these people just kind of pushed off to the side that I thought were really, not really close, but closer, I thought. Not to say that they're bad people at all, by no means, but really the ones that value you and you value them. And they definitely sort themselves out, that's for sure. And it's a thin line, I'm telling you. Yeah, so going from there, getting the help, sought some treatment, got out of treatment, and then I had lost my job and everything. Like, I was living at a safe place for myself. I needed that for a restart, and slowly had to build my personality. I don't know what you want to call it. Just I had to slowly build my soul, everything from the ground up. I was lost, but I was free from the chains of addiction, so to speak. But that was still not easy. Life is, just because that's gone, that doesn't mean life stops. Life still happens. I still had family out there. So I had to go, and I really thought about, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do for work? Because all I ever knew was factory work. I worked on the line for almost 20 years. I got a really, really good job I was 7 or 18 years old. And I mean, good job and this is like going back to 1997, 96, I think. I was making a lot. And that it's kind of sucked. It held me from exploring different opportunities like I did when I started my business 8 years ago or so. Because the money was that good, I didn't want to leave. That's the only regret I have, to be honest with you, as far as like everything happens for a reason. And that's, and if that wouldn't happen, I wouldn't have been here today. I truly believe that. But if I could go back in time, I would have gone back to not working in the factory and started and took that leap of faith and started my own business. But here I am. It is what it is. But I'm enjoying life today, and it's good. But it wasn't easy. So when I started working for a tree company in Windsor, and I saw this guy climbing a tree, and I was like, wow, that's pretty creative. Spikes, and they got the ropes and the rappelling gear and everything else. I've never really seen it done that way. I've always seen the boom trucks, and I loved it. So instantly I got a job. I'm a hard worker by nature. Started on the ground. They called me the branch manager. I know it's a funny joke, and I'm like, what do you mean branch manager? I'm like, I get it. Yeah, you're hauling the branches to the chipper. You're the branch manager. That's what they usually say in the tree industry is when you're brand new and you're green, you're the branch manager anyway. So I started that way. I moved up pretty quick. And then I wanted to start climbing, and I went to do a little course up in Kentucky, or I should say down in Kentucky from here, just to get some qualifications and learn more about the craft. Anyway, I worked for a tree company for a year, and then on the side, on the weekends, I was working with another buddy of mine, and we were just doing it on the side, and we were making good money on the weekend. And it was like, wow, we're doing better than we are on a paycheck, and we got paid well. So after 1 year of working there, I really stopped and jumped out and did this all on my own. And it was good. It was really good at first. I love money, and I really thought that money was the key to happiness. And I was making more money. I didn't know that you could make that much money, but no one ever told me that owning your own business would come with headaches. And I was like, wow, like the stress that comes along with that, especially if you're hard on yourself and you beat yourself up a lot, makes it even worse. So for me, at first it was awesome. I was like buying people lunches, and I've never been able to do that. And it was good for me, and I wasn't spending money badly. It was just a way of just saying, hey, look, I can pull my own. It was really good not to live paycheck to paycheck. That's such a struggle. And to be able to go to bed and know the next day there's some money in the account if something does happen, you have it. I don't know. I just had that never kind of give up attitude once I was on my own, I was on my own, and I wasn't always working like I explained before. But when I wasn't, I was hustling. I was out there giving out flyers, like I explained in the last video. And learning from failures, it's I was an entrepreneur. It's not something you can teach. I think it's in you. Now, how broad you want it to go, that's entirely up to you. That's teachable. Now, I only wanted to do so much. I wanted to limit the headaches, and then not. I didn't want to grow to be a huge company, corporate, nothing like that. I got a lot of opportunity to grow faster, and I didn't. And I have grown a lot since I've started. I can't believe it's even gone this far. I never told myself I even wanted to get this far. I really wanted just to kind of run a 1 or 2 man show. And as long as the bills were being paid and I was happy, that was good. But again, like I said, money does not equal happiness. I thought money would solve all my problems. And it solves all the bills and mortgage payments and all that, but it doesn't solve happiness. That's 100% true. So yeah, there's different avenues that you have to take to get happiness. To achieve happiness, I had to figure out how I was going to do that instead of resorting to these other physical forms of being happy. And for me, I had to take a good look at myself. And honestly, one of the best things that you can do to be happy is to go help somebody. Literally, just go help somebody. Could be maybe your grandmother move a couch for somebody, or if somebody asks, go help them, or just maybe cut the neighbor's lawn, even though he might not even be the greatest guy. Who knows? Just to do something for free. It doesn't always have to be for money. That's truly to be kind and to help somebody is one of the biggest things for me. I know that when I help somebody, I always feel good about myself, 100%. That's a really good starting point. I had to learn all these kind of things, I guess, all over again. Cultivating meaningful relationships. Now, we talked about that earlier with fair weather friends. I needed to get not that I didn't have good friends. I guess I just needed to regrow closer to them. That's all. The ones that I pushed away, maybe. Now that I look back, that's important. You need the right friends, good friends, to be happy. You don't want to be around people that are just gonna, the naysayers that are just always knocking things down or any idea. No, that's not good, Dave. All these little things. You want to be around positive energy. That's where you want to be. Practicing gratitude is huge. Be grateful for the things that you have, even if it's nothing. It could be just as simple as having a roof over your head and food in your fridge. For me, that's what it was originally. I was very happy with that. I had a bottle of peanut butter in the cupboard. I love peanut butter. And for those that know me, people that do know me, they know I love peanut butter. So very grateful for that. So being grateful is another really good way of achieving happiness. And that's a practice thing. You got to practice gratitude. That just doesn't come on its own. Engaging activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. So finding something that makes you happy. Now, I just always worked, and I didn't really. When I was younger, I played sports and that kind of stuff, and I really don't do that kind of stuff anymore. And then work became my happiness. It really did, and that does actually do that too. It's nice to be able to do something that you love, and that'll make you happy. But it kind of wore off. I'm still happy. Don't get me wrong with what I'm doing, but I needed to find something more for my free time. I could always work, literally always work, but then. What's the point of working, right? You want to be happy. So anyway, actually, that's why I kind of started this podcast. Take care of your physical, mental health through exercise and proper nutrition and self-care practices. That's big. I exercised almost all my life. I work out usually 3-4 times a week, but with my job being so physical, it's tough. Sometimes I'm just too tired and I can't do it. And you're doing some big jobs and you've physically labored 12 hours a day. Sometimes that's a workout all on its own. But I like to keep a routine. And for me, I know I do best when I stick with routine. If I have a routine, I do better physically, mentally. I save money. I'm better with all my relationships. As soon as I get some downtime, wintertime, my brain starts to, I get lazy, just lethargic, and I start losing pace of what I was doing. And then you miss a day at the gym. It's like going to the gym. You miss a day, you don't want to go back. It's so hard. If I'm consistent, I'm good. Like I'm all or nothing kind of guy. That's just how I am. It's really hard to moderate myself to do just about anything, whether I'm working or working out. If I'm working out, it's like all or nothing. So, but I can do that too much too. So I got to make sure that I'm always kind of just, 3-4 times is enough, Dave. You don't need to go 7 days a week, 2 times a day, unless you're working out, go win Mr. Olympia. I don't know. That's not my goal, but physically, like taking care of yourself physically will really help you 100%. Set and pursue meaningful goals that align with your values. And that's important too. I think for the people that are religious as well, that's big, people look up if God, whatever, that's big to them, and practice that. If that's what you believe in, that's what you should do. A big one too is try to live in the moment. Living in the moment is probably the hardest thing that I've ever tried to do. It's very, very hard. I know I do it best when I have a very not physically hard job, but I have to think. Because I could be crushing a house or taking a hydro line down, and I'm physically looking up and just kind of directing different things, and I need a pulley there. I'm so focused on what I'm doing that this brain has no time to think about any of my problems that I have or that I think I have. So that for me is the best part. I have a hard time running for me, when I used to be a big runner, did that to me too. I would find this zone and then it freed my mind. So if you can find that, getting that in the moment and staying there and finding whatever that is you do, that's tough. I don't know if you got some advice on me on getting that's let me know, because that's a great tool to have. Living in the moment, there's no more better peaceful moment. It's like I said, if I'm working and I'm focused on my work, all of a sudden I look at my watch and the day's done. And I didn't think about any of the other stuff that I had going on in my head. So yeah, living in the moment I think is probably the most important part of your life, that if you can get a hold of something like that, that's key. 100% that's key. Okay, and with that, we're going to wrap things up. And I'd really like to thank everybody for watching my episode. Next week, we have somebody coming on, and I can't wait for that. It'll be the first person I interview, which is going to be awesome. I hope you guys tune in for that. And again, feel free to leave comments in the comments. And I always love that. I don't get many right now, but I've gotten a few, which is nice. And I have responded, and I'm hoping to be able to do that, and it keeps growing. But again, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you on the next one.